Is that good? How does that sound, folks? Higher? Right there. How's that sound? Good? Oh. Yo. Okay, it's good. There we go. Yeah. Okay, I just need my glasses. Long ago and far away, there was a very special place called the Berkeley Square, a tiny legend that very few of us were fortunate to know about. I was one of the fortunate ones. So the question stands, where is the late night at the Berkeley Square? I decided to explore the internet for references and chanced upon a Berkeley Square in London, a historic landmark with its own TV series, an ongoing ghost tour, and the Berkeley Square Hotel, whose lavish interiors really caught my eye, reaffirming, oh yes, sweetie, you are that gay man still trapped in a woman's body. The Berkeley Square I knew, however, was a nightclub in Berkeley, California, located on University Avenue, halfway between the bayfront and the campus. It had a nondescript facade and was completely overshadowed by the neon mohawks, studded leather jackets, and black army boots that strutted the avenue out front. In the fall of 1984, I rolled into Berkeley from DC in a baby poop gold-colored Plymouth Valiant with a ripped vinyl roof that I lovingly referred to as the Violent. Leaving DC's uptight trench coats, briefcases, and nervous tics far behind, Berkeley wrapped me in its arms and sprinkled me with unforgettable moments like Dead concerts at the Greek Theater, massive anti-apartheid protests, and street people like Rick Starr, who stood in a rumpled suit, crooning old jazz tunes out of key into a mic not connected to anything, Hate Man, who yelled, "I hate you," as a friendly gesture, and the Bubble Lady, who blew magic bubbles into the street, conjuring love and peace. The first year in town, I rented an upstairs room with a back balcony, and it was beautiful, offering a view of the Berkeley Hills and a fruiting plum tree, basically paradise. One day, the two men living downstairs notified me that they were going to see a new garage band from LA at a local nightclub and asked me if I wanted to go along. Yeah. It was October of 1984. The band was the Red Hot Chili Peppers, and the nightclub was the Berkeley Square. That night, the Red Hots came on stage in all their glory to jam a fresh sound wearing nothing but crazy turbans and loincloths fashioned from repurposed basketball socks. No doubt I was immediately hooked on the band and the nightclub. In the summer of '85, the same downstairs neighbors announced there was a job opening for a door person bouncer at the Berkeley Square. And you know it, I jumped on that opportunity like a rabid honey badger. Work life with security staff was never boring. My favorite person on staff was King Paul, the second person from right with a big toothy grin. He earned his name because the other job was erotic film star, hence his name King. Our manager once said, quote, "He has a yardstick that none of us will ever measure up to." I loved the vibe of the staff because it really felt like family, full of well-worn inside jokes, teasing and the usual dysfunction. Notables were the sound techs, Tumbleweed and Deanne, as well as the manager, Victor Dalton, who was typically found sitting at the helm with a drink on the rocks and his infamous pink leather jacket. I led a double life. Balancing late-night work with grad school and travel was a definite challenge, but somehow I made it work. After returning from a trip, my solution was to bike to school at 3 a.m., scale a building wall, climb in through an unlocked studio window to finish a project due that very same morning. One of my classmates, Alan Nelson, was an accomplished rock climber, and he helped me buff up to be a worthy bouncer by taking me climbing in Yosemite only 3 hours away. I'm just a tiny little speck, 2/3 of the way up the cliff face with the dreaded, shaky Elvis leg on my first 3-pitch climb. The Berkeley Square was a small venue, and once the music and dance floor really got jamming, the space quickly filled with the smell of sweat, bad cologne, cigarette smoke, and spilled drinks. Originally constructed as a cocktail lounge in the 1940s, it had also been used in the late 60s as a Black Panthers headquarters. My entertainment at work was more than just the live music. It was also about the crazy characters that frequented, friends of staff, groupies, local musicians and DJs, punkers, townies, barflies, pimps and dealers. Memorable characters were Billy Boom, center photo, and blue-haired Bailey, our most eccentric barfly. One highlight of security was the occasional floor find. Those lovely little floor treasures were usually found near the restrooms or trampled flat on the dance floor. When the lights came on after closing, there was a mad dash by security to scan the floor, upholding a very strict finders keepers policy. The biggest perk while working the square was the access I had backstage to schmooze with dozens of up-and-coming bands, including the Red Hots, Beat Farmers, X, Dead Milkmen, Social Distortion, Soundgarden, 10,000 Maniacs, Black Flag, Circle Jerks, Iggy Pop, Wall of Voodoo, The Cure, The Meat Puppets, and Michael Franti's band, The Beatniks. One of the most lovable musicians at the B Square was Buck of Buck Naked and the Bare Bottom Boys. Who wouldn't fall for a tall, lanky, fresh-faced rockabilly musician with long, glossy black hair from Nebraska? His outrageous song titles included Uncontrollable Flesh, Teenage Pussy from Outer Space, and Hard On from Hell. In 1991, a few years after I left the club, Buck was gaining popularity nationwide and invited to appear on the Joan Rivers Show. He was a hilarious hit, and we were sure it would be his ticket to fame. Tragically, though, in 1992, while walking his dog in Golden Gate Park, Buck was shot to death by a man with a history of mental illness. The Berkeley I knew and loved was rapidly changing. The same year that Buck was shot, I moved back east to be near my mother after my father passed. Today, the historic site of Berkeley's Vietnam protest, called People's Park, will soon become a student housing facility, and the Berkeley Square nightclub is now a daycare center. Let us take a moment to honor those defiant men of the 80s who, while secure in their own masculinity, had the cojones to rock climb in jazzy pink leggings or get up on stage with nothing but a G-string and a pair of pretty pink cowboy boots. They are the real fallen heroes of positive change and our spiritual guides toward true inner freedom. Thank you.